Well, my friends, welcome to SNOWPOCALYPSE 2021. It's about 12 degrees outside. It is still snowing as I speak. We got about another, I want to say 6 inches last night. And definitely in parts of my garden, it is over 12 inches in depth. And I took some really beautiful stills because it is really gorgeous. And I was inspired by watching Dr. Zhivago the other night. So even though, of course, I have great trepidation about what damage these extremely cold temperatures are causing, particularly to my potted boxwoods, it nevertheless is really beautiful, and there's no denying it. I haven't been out much because actually today with 12 degrees, it has warmed up. It was down into the negative territory. And if my camera work is somewhat shaky, it's because my hands are freezing, and I might also be stepping in an area that's not really foot sure because the snow is so deep. I'm not sure what's under what. But here are the things that I think most of us as gardeners are concerned about. Certainly we're concerned about cold hardiness. Now, for my potted boxwoods, for any kind of potted specimens, the rule of thumb is to plant something in them that is 2 zones hardier than where you are. Well, I'm in 7B, so that would mean typically around zone 5. I probably would want most of my plants to be hardy down to zone 4. And I really won't know on whether or not they've survived for probably another week because these cold temperatures remain for the next several days and won't get above freezing for, I want to say, for about another 4 or 5 days. So at that point, we'll see. Now, so many of you were kind and gave me lots of recommendations, particularly our Canadian friends and Scandinavian friends, on things that I could do to kind of mitigate the effects of the cold. Unfortunately, by the time the cold set in, it was almost too cold to do anything about it. And wrapping the pots, I think, given the extreme nature of the cold, I just don't know if that would have helped, particularly since by the time I realized it was getting this cold, the moment had maybe passed. Oopsie, I almost just tripped there, you guys. But good for future reference, that if we get these Arctic blasts again, I will know to be more prepared. We do have power now. We are doing rolling blackouts. Yesterday we were out for about an hour. And that's true across the Southwest, particularly in Texas. So all of my Texas friends who have been without power for a long time, oh my goodness, I so feel for you. Because it's been unbearably cold. But it is, I'm a big history buff. This is a moment in history, so I need to make sure that I record this in my gardening journal. It has not been this cold since 1899. And the other night we threatened an all-time record. I don't think we quite hit it, but it hasn't been this cold since the very late 1800s. Now, most of the boxwood topiary that I have, I've mentioned before, are Green Mountain, which is one of the hardier varieties. I am conflicted on whether or not to knock off the snow because it's breaking the form of the beautiful orbs. But then I also want the snow on there to provide insulation. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm not sure how you provide insulation from snow if that you then go about knocking it off. But there's a layer of ice underneath that, so hopefully that will do something to prevent any more cold damage. We'll just have to wait and see. And that said, to a certain extent, I'm fatalistic about it. There's only so much I can do. Don't the hollies, these are Oakland hollies, and I think they look beautiful in the snow. I really think they'll probably be fine. And most of the degree to which plants are established will to a great extent determine probably how well they survive this cold. I'm really not too worried about most of the things that are in ground. I know those of you who rely heavily on crepe myrtles for color in your landscape, there's a good chance that those will die back all the way to the ground. May not kill them, but it will kill them back. And for those that are standard crepe myrtles, small trees, that's just heartbreaking. As is the prospect of any kind of tropicals in areas in Louisiana and southern Texas and Mississippi and all across the South that have semi-tropical plants. The thought of palm trees and anythings that are not really hardy just breaks my heart. Look at the little snow cones on the table. That makes me happy, as does the fact that the sun, even though it's still snowing, the sun is coming out a bit and it's starting to glisten. I think we've gotten more snow this year, certainly than I can ever remember. Now, I'm not going to go into the front yard because it's just a little bit too treacherous. And I'm very thankful that my home has heat, so I can go in and thaw out my fingers and toes. This is what I'm talking about when you get the insulation of snow, but if you knock it off, that insulation isn't there anymore. Fortunately, I might remark that the snow that's coming down and the snow that's on the ground is a very light, dry snow. So hopefully it's not so heavy that it will provide, or it will create cause lots of structural damage on the evergreens. It is beautiful. So there is just a cold walkabout. I promised to do it on Wednesdays. And there you are. It does look very pretty to see the lights in the snow at night. I probably should unplug those to conserve energy, and I will do that. I forgot about them. I will do that as soon as I'm finished showing you this. We're doing everything we can to conserve electricity and natural gas right now. Let me see if I can zoom in. I love the muffin top of the snow on the little table. So I'll try to capture some stills for you. There's some more snow cone containers. I hope wherever you are, I know this Arctic blast has crossed the country, so wherever you are, I do hope you are safe and warm and well, maybe eating some hot soup or drinking some hot chocolate. From my garden to yours, stay warm.